Okay, today we're looking at chapter 19, lesson 3, and it's Kingdoms and Crusades. So you were to do that on Friday. That was your assignment. It was to read through this packet and answer the questions. So as I'm talking and reading through this lesson, I want you to check your answers and make sure you have the correct answers, okay? All right, so let's look at this. Royal power in England. Okay. When Vikings attacked Britain, King Alfred of Wessex united the Anglo-Saxons to drive away the Vikings. Alfred's kingdom became known as England or England. William was the ruler of Normandy and the cousin of King of England. In 1066, William and his army invaded England and won the Battle of Hastings. William then became King of England. He was known as William the Conqueror and became a powerful ruler. William brought many customs from Normandy, but he also kept many of the Anglo-Saxon ways of running the government. He allowed Anglo-Saxons to keep their language, which later became English. As Normans and Anglo-Saxons married, they created a new English culture. Henry II ruled England from 1154 to 1189. He set up a court system with lawyers and judges. This helped create a body of common law, or a law that was the same throughout the whole kingdom. The courts were fair because they applied the same laws to everyone. Henry also set up juries of citizens to settle arguments about land. A grand jury decided whether a person would be accused of a crime. A trial jury decided whether an accused person was innocent or guilty. Henry's son John became King of England in 1199. King John raised taxes. He also punished enemies without trials. A group of angry nobles forced King John to sign the Magna Carta in 1215. Magna Carta means Great Charter. This document limited the king's power. It said that the king and vassals had certain rights and duties. Over time, the Magna Carta strengthened the idea that all people have rights and that the powers of the government should be limited. Question number 1. Okay, it says, what is the difference between a grand jury and a trial jury? So a grand jury, you should have written down, decides whether a person should be accused of a crime, and a trial jury decides whether an accused person was innocent or guilty. All right, question number 2. Which ruler of England had the most impact on English laws or government, and why? All right, so that would be Henry II because he set up a court system with laws and judges. This helped create a body of common law or law that was the same throughout the whole kingdom. And that was Henry II. Question number 3. How did the common law help unite England? By applying the same laws to everyone. That's how it helped unite England. All right, let's look at the next page. Okay. In the late 1200s, Edward I gathered people from different parts of England to help him make laws. This group was called Parliament. All right, monarchy in France. In 843, Charlemagne's empire was split into 3 parts. The western part became the Kingdom of France. In 987, Hugh Capet became king, but he controlled little land. Philip II became king of France in 1180. At that time, England ruled part of western France. Philip reigned these lands. Having more land gave French kings more power. Philip IV was called Philip the Fair. He met with people from 3 classes or estates, a French society. This meeting of the estate was France's first parliament. It was called the Estates General. The Estates General never became as strong as the English parliament. Eastern states of the Slavs. A people called the Slavs organized villages into Eastern Europe. In time, Slavs divided into 3 major groups, the Southern, Western, and Eastern Slavs. In the 800s, the Eastern Slavs began to expand the city of Kiev. The state of Kievan Rus grew around the city. Around 1240, Mongols from Central Asia conquered Kievan Rus. Many Slavs left and founded the city of Moscow in present-day Russia. The rulers of Moscow learned to work with Mongols. They left Moscow, collected taxes from nearby Slavs areas. If the Slavs could not pay the tax, Moscow could take over their territory. Moscow used this method to expand its power. In 1462, Ivan III became the ruler of Moscow. Ivan called himself Caesar, Russian for emperor. By 1480, he had driven the Mongols out of Russia. By then, the people of Moscow, now known as Russians, began to build a great empire. All right, question number 5. How was the Estates General of France different from England's Parliament? It was never as strong as English Parliament. Estates General of France was not as strong as the English Parliament. Question number 6. Why did the rulers of Moscow work with the Mongols? Because the Mongols allowed the rulers of Moscow to collect taxes and expand their territory and power. That's why. All right, next page and last page. European Crusaders. In 1095, Pope Urban II asked Europe's lords to launch a crusade, a holy war, to take Jerusalem from the Muslim Turks. Thousands of soldiers left Western Europe to join the First Crusade. After many more crusades, Muslims won back the territory they had lost. The Crusades changed Europe. Western Europeans gained new knowledge from the Byzantines and Muslims, such as how to build better ships. Feudalism broke down because nobles who joined the Crusades sold their land and freed their serfs. This meant that nobles had less power. As a result, kings were able to build stronger governments. The Crusades also caused bitter feelings between Christian Europe and the Muslims. Question number 7. What was the goal of the First Crusade? It was to capture Jerusalem from the Muslim Turks and to take the Holy Land for the Christians. Question number 8. What was one way that Crusades changed Christian Europe? Trade grew between Europe and the East, and feudalism, and let's see, New knowledge came from Byzantine and Muslim cultures. Feudalism broke down. So that was one way. That was more than one way, but you could have said any of those things. I'm going to say them again. Trade grew between Europe and the East. New knowledge from the Byzantine and Muslim culture that they learned, and feudalism was broken down. All right, so that is all of Lesson 3. So remember, your test this time is going to actually be over just Lessons 1 through 3. We are going to test on 4 and 5, but you will not, it will not be on this particular test that you are going to take, okay? So study hard, study over your notes that we've taken from each lesson, and know your vocabulary. Look back over the map, and you'll be ready and prepared for the test, okay? All right, thanks guys for listening. Bye.